Okay, so today our lesson is on the flight to Egypt. We left off last week with the Magi making their journey across the desert to find this newborn king of the Jews. The star had led them in the direction of Jerusalem, and Bethlehem is just past Jerusalem. It would be a logical choice for someone to go who's looking for a king, because a palace is where kings are born. But when they show up and they ask around, nobody even seems to know what it is that they're talking about. So we're going to talk about King Herod today for a bit. Herod was not a great Jew. As a matter of fact, he wasn't a Jew by blood at all. We talked a little bit about that last week. He was a descendant of Esau, which made him an Edomite, and his family was actually forced to convert to Judaism, but he wasn't even good at it. He didn't practice their religious rituals, and he didn't know anything about their history. He was unaware that a Messiah was going to be born and where it would be located, and he had to have those versed in the scripture to go and look this information up for him. The reason he was there is because Rome had placed him there as a sort of puppet king to appease the Jews, which really didn't, but it kept Rome in control because it kept Rome in control of Jerusalem because they could control Herod. So King Herod is a man who has gone down in history with extreme paranoia. We talked about how many of his own family members that he had killed last week just because he thought that they could be a threat to his throne. The Roman Emperor Augustus has reported about him. He has said it is better to be Herod's pig than his son. That being a joke because Jews do not eat pig. So even after his death, Herod maintained his cruelty. Just shortly before he died, he had the most distinguished citizens in Jerusalem imprisoned, and he gave orders to have them all executed at the moment of his own death. And he did this to ensure that there would be mourning in the city at the time of his death. Otherwise, the citizens of Jerusalem would have been in celebration. And so the scripture reading today reflects this cruelty. God, however, protects his son, and the Holy Family escape from Herod's murderous threats. I'm going to pick up our scripture reading today in Matthew. It's going to be chapter 2, verses 13 through 21. When they had gone, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream. "Get up," he said, "and take the child and his mother and escape to Egypt. Stay there until I tell you, for Herod is going to search for the child to kill him." So he got up, he took the child and his mother during the night and left for Egypt, where he stayed until the death of Herod. And so was fulfilled what the Lord had said through the prophet, "Out of Egypt I shall call my child." When Herod realized that he had been outwitted by the Magi, he was furious, and he gave orders to kill the boys in Bethlehem and in the vicinity who were 2 years old and under, accordance to the time he had learned from the Magi. Then what was said through the prophet Jeremiah was fulfilled. "A voice is heard from Ramah, weeping in great mourning. Rachel is weeping for her children and refusing to be comforted, because they are no more." After Herod died, an angel of the Lord appeared in a dream to Joseph, in Egypt, and said, "Get up, take the child and his mother, and go to the land of Israel, for those who are trying to take the child's life are dead." So he got up, took the child and his mother, and went to the land of Israel. But when he heard that Archelaus was reigning in Judea in the place of his father Herod, he was afraid to go there. Having been warned in a dream, he withdrew to the district of Galilee, and he went and lived in a town called Nazareth. So was fulfilled what was said through the prophets, that he would be called a Nazarene. Okay, so just as an interesting thought, the church today still commemorates the killing of these infant boys on December 28th. It's 2 days after Christmas, and it's called the Slaughter of the Innocents. And it's a day of fasting and prayer. So if you will, your purple information sheet, let's read that real quick. And if you will, just follow along with me. It's based upon the scripture reading we had today. King Herod burned with jealousy and feared the newly born king when he found out that the Magi had tricked him. They had not returned to tell the whereabouts of the child. He was very angry and sent soldiers to Bethlehem to kill the child. God was not going to let Herod harm his son. he sent an angel to Joseph to warn him to arise and flee to Egypt because Herod was going to try to destroy the child. When the soldiers arrived, they killed all the boys 2 years old and younger in the village of Bethlehem. This action was prophesied in Jeremiah 31:15. The child they were trying to kill, however, had already escaped. Jesus and his parents lived in Egypt until Herod died. When Herod died, an angel again came to Joseph and told him that he and the family could return to Israel, so they moved to Nazareth. All right. Hey, Joseph. Jacob. I'm into my story. Do you want to come hand the paper out for everyone? Jacob's going to hand out your worksheets. Remember, answer complete sentences. There are front and back questions, review questions on the back. Okay. Did we have some questions over here?